Yes, life was delayed, but it never gave the nod.
Hello, everybody. It's Annika Laquette here, and you're listening to Never Gave the Nine podcast. If you're new here, make sure that you go and watch the previous week's episode and hit the subscribe button for me. So, before I get started, congratulate our small business, Beautiful Broken Crayon LLC, and she has won our small business giveaway, and she is now a sponsor for this episode. I would like to give a shout out to Real Blythe. She was the very first person to comment down on our YouTube channel. So make sure if you want a shout out on our next video, make sure to be the very first person to comment on the next week's episode. First and foremost, I want to say I'm so happy to bring this person on my show. Y'all already see her. You already see her. And I have Miss Evonne Young. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you, Ani?
I'm doing good. I already know you personally. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, I'm Evonne L. Young, better known in these coaching streets as Coach Vaughn, your mindfulness empowerment coach. I deal with women's health empowerment. I'm also a fully credentialed mental health therapist here for the Department of Mental Health. I'm also the owner and CEO of Creative Life Journeys, which is my consulting and coaching business, where I work with women. I help women to find clarity and purpose to help them to obtain optimal mental health well-being, because there's so much going on in the world today. Everybody's journey is different. That's why Journeys is spelled RINES and not NEY.
Yes.
Because even though everybody may be on a journey, but no two journeys are the same, just like no two spellings are the same. So
right.
I'm here in Florence, South Carolina, by way of upstate New York. I am the mother of 4 adult sons. I have 24, yes, counting, I don't look at 24 grandchildren. And I am affectionately called Nana to them.
I believe it.
Yes. Yeah, they are spoiled. I call them my broke friends.
Yeah, I saw that this morning.
We had to go grocery shopping. And before I was like, you know what? I got to hurry up and get back home, because one of the things I like to do before any podcast, before any event, I like to have that downtime where I can just really, let me make sure everything is where it needs to be. My mindset is where it needs to be. So when I'm speaking to individuals, I want to make sure that I am giving them the best version of myself.
Speaking of mental health, why is mental health important?
Mental health is important to me because, and I guess I have to just really, the best way for me to really explain it is through giving my story. I grew up in a home with a mother and a father who suffered from mental health conditions. My father was a Vietnam vet. He had PTSD. He would not actively seek help for it. He was very abusive. I'm a survivor of domestic violence. I saw my mother attempt to unalive herself. Human behavior from a child, always always an interest to me. You're too young to know the movie, but the movie Sybil, this woman Sybil had 150 different personalities, and at that time it was called multiple personality disorder. Of course, now it's called dissociative disorder. So it just interested me, how individuals were able to go through all this and how their mind, and it just interests me. So like how I got into the profession, and I may be a little bit ahead of myself. I went to school to become a nurse. I wanted to become a registered nurse, but I always kept finding myself going back into really understanding human behavior. I was going through a divorce at the time. And my first psychology class was general psychology at Tech. And I loved it. It helped it to understand me. Why am I feeling the way I was feeling, going through the divorce, understanding people, and there's a lot that I could go into, but for the purpose of this podcast, I want to, time constraint, but so that's how I got into it. It's just realizing, understanding that even though people may live with mental health conditions, they can still have a quality of life. Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're definitely right about that. And a lot of people, we're gonna get into that, but a lot of people do not know that you could, live with mental health and still be fine, right? So I know that you said a little bit about your life story. So what motivates you to be a mental health therapist outside of your family members?
What motivated me to be a therapist, of course, I went through school. I got my associates, my bachelor's degree in psychology, my master's degree in professional counseling with emphasis in clinical mental health. And I also got 17 hours towards my doctoral in behavioral health leadership, concentration in teaching psychology. Aside from the education component of it, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I'm board eligible, so I'm working on that for my LPC.
Go ahead now.
Period. Aside from that, I think it's just really working with people, understanding behaviors, and helping individuals to know that, hey, mental health is real. And mental health is probably taking the forefront in the news now. You're hearing more and more people, probably post-COVID, saying that I got to focus on my mental health. I got to focus on my mental health. I really have to focus on my mental health. And being able to be a professional in the field, understanding people, because a lot of individuals, they won't seek help, especially Black men. They will not seek out mental health. So being able to be a woman of color who's in the profession, understanding, I'm not going to judge you, no stereotypes, no stigmas, no nothing, but I'm here to work with you to help you and assist you in getting the help that you need to be able to live that quality of life.
That's good. I'm glad you told us that. So how can a person prevent mental health problems?
That's a really good question that I don't want to give a 10-cent answer for. To the truth be told, Ani, all of us, every last one of us, even I myself as a mental health professional therapist, we're probably all one episode away from a major mental breakdown, if the truth just be told. Are there coping skills? Yes. And skills that can be put in place? Absolutely. Knowing what your triggers are, going through certain things. So the best prevention to really answer that question, for what it's worth, is just knowing yourself, knowing when things are not right. Like an individual who has excessive worrying for over 2 weeks, and they have these ruminating thoughts, they're catastrophizing things, they're biting their fingernails, they're just pacing, pulling their hair, doing certain things. And if it goes on for more than 2 weeks, that's anxiety. If you've never suffered anything like that, you're going through an anxious episode. On the other hand, somebody who's, I don't have any energy, I'm crying all the time, I don't want to get out of bed, I don't want to wash, I just don't have any energy to do anything. They're staying in a dark place, they're staying in the bed. They may eat too much, they may not eat enough, they don't want to be around anybody. They're going through what's called a major depressive disorder. Now, lastly, so you got to pay attention to the behaviors and kind of look, if this person's going away from their baseline of their happy-go-lucky, jolly self, and you start seeing somebody start decompensating and withdrawing and pulling back or doing certain behaviors, you need to check on your friend. And lastly, an individual who's probably going through the worst form of mental health issues is when you're having delusions, just having auditory visual hallucinations, seeing the psychosis, the out of touch with the reality. Even though schizophrenia affects a very small percentage of people, it's still very real. Because even in therapy, I'm seeing an increase of individuals who are being newly diagnosed with schizophrenia, schizoaffective, and bipolar 1 disorders. And a lot of that is genetics, and it's also tied to substance use.
Okay. So you teaching the group, okay? You teaching us. I did not know all of this stuff. So that's really good. So you are teaching us for real. So you're the owner of Creative Life Journeys. So tell us how you start your business.
Creative life journey started about 4 years ago, and I'm getting ready to come up to my 4th anniversary in May, where it's legal LLC, legit business,
Come
the
on
whole
now.
9 yards. I am a legit business.
All right.
How it came about was probably about 2018, 2019. I was really going through a really, really difficult time in my life. I had just ended another bad relationship, like 3 relationships back to back. It was just, it was a bad time in my life, and I don't mind being transparent because it's my story.
Of course, be real.
Yeah, yes. I'm being totally real with it. And even I myself, I was suffering through depression, anxiety. I was even going through a grief period because I had to grieve the loss of this relationship. Yeah. And I went to my doctor and I was like, look, something's got to get done. I mean, yes, I'm a therapist. I work with people, but right now you're not dealing with the therapist. You're dealing with the person. You're dealing with the individual. And so, I feel like I'll fill out my own part 1. You just sign it, and I'll go commit myself. Yep. I know the process. So I met a young lady in Maryland, and she was going through. I became her mentor, and she was going through. Little did I know at that time, I probably needed her just as much as she needed me. And I went to church with her that Sunday. And the preacher was preaching, was a guest preacher. I'll never forget this. And I referenced him in my book, Pastor Keith Battle. And he preached no more excuses. And as if the Lord was speaking to me himself in my right ear. Now, to this day, I still remember. If you don't catch what he's catching what he's saying right now, you're going to miss out on everything that I have in life for you. I'm like, okay, God, okay. Because I didn't realize I was making excuses for why I could not move forward. So that was this last Sunday in 2018. 2019 was one of the hardest. I said it was one of the hardest years of my life. Girl, I was homeless. COVID was hit pre-COVID. I was going through something. It was on my way to work when I was like, you know what? Something's got to give. I can't live like this. And I was looking at the trees, and something within me, which I know because I'm a woman of faith, and God was like, create your new life journey, create your new narrative. And I'm like, huh? I'm like, I know these people looking at me driving this Nissan Altima, like, this woman up here talking to herself, but it's stuck. Creative life journeys, because I saw the trees, as you see the tree of life. I was on the highway. In creative life, you can create your own life there. I don't care what you've gone through. You can create a new narrative for yourself. That's why when I did it with the journeys, a journey is not a destination. It's a process that you're going through. And you have to learn how to embrace it. Once you learn that and separate journey from destination, because a destination, you get aggravated, you get frustrated. I'm just ready to get here. I'm just ready to get here. But when you're going through a journey, you're going to go through some ups and downs. You're going to have some good days. A lot of people think, oh, it's smooth line. That's straight line. That means you dead. When you're going straight, you flatlining. But when you're going through, that's that journey. That's that process. That's how you learn. And it's actually in the valley of the journey that you're going through. That's how you learn. That's where the experience, that's where you're taught at. And so anyhow, that's how it came about, Creative Life Journeys. My book, Creative Life Therapy. I'm probably ahead of myself. But anyhow,
yes, y'all see it.
Get ahead of myself. Yeah, you got it. I was trying to find mine.
Y'all see it.
Creative Life Therapy. I wrote that book when my father passed away. My father had laid dead in his house for 3 days. My sister called me the day before his birthday. I had to rearrange my schedule here in South Carolina to leave the next morning to get to Charlotte to catch a flight back to New York. I had to contain myself. I wanted to break down and cry because I had to go to 3 different airports before I got to New York. And I wanted to cry. I wanted to break down. I said, Lord, I got to contain myself. People were, was your trip a business trip? No, I got to go bury my father on his birthday. I planned my father's funeral on what would have been his birthday when I got to New York. And just being able to cope, being able to deal with. And that's when God said, go ahead and write the book. Go ahead and give people something to be able to cope when they're going through difficult times. So that's why you're creating your own life therapy. Because a lot of people don't want to go to a therapist. They don't want to seek their help, but they'll sit in the privacy of their home and do a practical guide, something that's going to give them some information. Every single tool that is in that book, I've used in therapy and also used with myself.
That's amazing. That's really amazing. And see, that was the question, what's the purpose of the book? So speaking of the book, tell us how we can purchase this book. Because, baby, I got mine. Y'all see it. Yes, it has some beautiful things in here. So I'm going to need y'all to go and get y'all. So tell people, how can they purchase this book?
It's on Amazon. It is on Amazon. And if, for whatever reason, if I see you out in the street or you send it to me or whatever, I will sign it. Also, I do have copies that I have for sale. Now, you get a little bit extra when you get the copies from me personally. You get a signed book. You got the Creative Life Therapy ink pen that comes with the book. And I know you got yours.
Yes, ma'am.
You do get a motivational band. Like this one just says, enthusiasm moves the world. So you get your band. I want
one of those. That's cute.
I got you. I got you. And then you also get a little stress ball.
Oh, that's cute.
Let's see it. Yeah, this is when you get it from me. Take a deep breath. You can get that from me. So you get all of that, and it's all for. But anybody who sees this today and they want to get it and order directly from me, it's $15 because we're doing the podcast. So all you gotta do is we'll give you the information how to get it. So yeah, you get all that good stuff. And
that's good, then. Amazing. And see, your life and what you said, creative life journeys, is literally the reason why I created this podcast. Yes, life was delayed, but it never gave denied. And that's exactly what you just said. Everything you done went through, delays, different things was going on in your life, it never gave denied. And that's the reason why this podcast exists. So we're going to take a brief commercial break. We have a word from our sponsor, Beautiful Broken Crayon, LLC.
Beautiful Broken Crayons, LLC is for young ladies who have behavioral issues, fought mental battle with themselves, or have experienced trauma. Beautiful Broken Crayons, LLC is a comprehensive faith-based development program that aims to instill and promote positive self-worth and growth of young women through a focus on our core values of faith, compassion, love, and accountability. Beautiful Broken Crayons, LLC offers mentorships, scholarships, and so much more. Beautiful Broken Crayons, LLC was founded by Jennifer K. Jones. Jennifer's message is, young ladies, no matter what you've been through or where you've been, where you end up is in your control. You may feel broken, but you still have a purpose. Broken crayons still color.
And we are back with Creative Life Journeys, Miss Evonne.
When you said about delayed is never denied, that's what kept me going. That is what kept me going during a lot of my hardest times when I was going through. That scripture in Daniel, when he was praying unto the Lord. I can tell you, I'm a woman of faith now. Okay, and I want to encourage somebody with this. Daniel was going through and he was praying. He couldn't understand why in that scripture in Daniel. Why am I going through? Why has not God answered my prayer? And the angel appears to look at, I got held up for X amount of days because I was fighting. Delayed wasn't, I was delayed. Getting here, God heard your prayer. But even though I'm delayed, but I'm here now. So that lets me know it's on time. But you weren't denied. Never was.
Come on now.
And I've heard that message preached time and time again. That's why I love never been denied. You're never going to be denied. Delayed, but never denied.
Come on. Yes, ma'am. See, don't make me shout up in here.
Take over your podcast.
Just take it off. Just take the wig off. I'm trying to tell you, okay? Because I'm telling you, people don't understand. When y'all get into this podcast, this is the real. We're speaking our truth over here. So, yes, I love it. So, speaking of your book, Creative Life Therapy, there is an affirmation in here, and the affirmation speaks of, I am my greatest investment. I am more than enough. I am a champion. So my question to you is, how does the affirmation tip resonate with you personally?
The first one was, I am more than enough.
Yes, ma'am.
A lot of people don't realize everything that you need to heal, to go through, is already within inside of you. So you are more than enough.
Mm-hmm.
But you just have to tell yourself, it all comes down to your mindset. If you keep sitting down, that's why words have power. And I love affirmations.
Come
If I
on.
sit and tell myself every day,
Yes.
I'm a loser, I'm a loser, quite naturally, my self efficacy is going to be identifying that of a loser. But when I sit and tell myself,
Mm-hmm.
I'm more than enough, I'm great. Matter of fact, that's the thing. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Let me kind of come back a little bit because I'm getting excited now.
All right, come
I
on.
am more than enough. I am more than enough. I am more than
Mm-hmm.
enough. Because I'm truly not less than. And I'm not going to be a condensed
Right.
version of anybody else. So I'm more than enough.
Mm-hmm. Next one is, I am a champion.
Champions put in the work.
Yes.
I am a champion. Even at my age and getting new to entrepreneurship, I had to put in the work, still putting in the work.
Yes.
Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player. LeBron James, this comes behind him. Deion Sanders, great, awesome football player. Did they become champions by winning every single game that they played?
Oh, no.
Absolutely
Mm-mm.
not. Mm-mm.
No.
They became a champion by endurance, being committed to their game, and staying true to their authentic self. They had mistakes, they had bad games, they had good games, but it's what they learned. Again, going back to that valley, it's what they learned while they're in that downtime. Okay, now let me apply the lesson so I can be great in the next game. One of the things that they always say, you're only as good as your next game. And that's the truth. And that's what
Yes.
makes a champion. Win or lose.
Yes.
That's yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
Yeah.
And the next one was, I am my greatest investment.
You seeing it. I am my greatest
Yeah.
investment. When I started really investing in myself as a woman, in my personal growth and my professional development, you see the results.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, my business has really gotten to a good place. I've already kicked off my engagement. I'm already every single month. I mean, I'm laying on the couch before I go grocery shopping, and I'm already doing business deals. I gotta
Yep.
send out some invoices before I even
Mm-hmm.
receipts. That's why I'm changing in receipts for invoices
Right.
on the podcast today.
Yep.
You are your
Yeah.
greatest investment. When you start investing in yourself, you're gonna get a ROI, a return on your investment, because you're it. I can't
Yep.
depend
You're
on
right.
anybody else to be Evonne or Coach Vaughn, because nobody else can be, because they can't do what I do or
Mm-hmm.
be who I am. And I think that's one of the things that people have to learn. Stop going to sleep on yourself. Invest in yourself. Get a
Yes.
coach, get a mentor, get a therapist. Like I was at an event last
Mm-hmm.
week, and one of the things, the lady asked me was like, what was your biggest drawback to hold you back? I said, me, honey, me. I had to get me
Okay.
together.
Yes.
Period. Yes.
Yes.
Once I got
Mm-hmm.
my trauma resolved, got my mental health in resolved, got my low self-esteem resolved, and started realizing I am more than enough. I am
Mm.
I am a champion. I can't put in the work. I've started seeing returns on my investment. This is why I can empower and be able to speak into other women's life and let them know, hey, no
Yes.
matter what you go through, there is growth beyond it.
How important is self-care to you?
Very important. I like to tell people, you got to replenish the cup that you're pouring from.
Mm-hmm.
An empty cup has no purpose. It's just like
Right.
this bottle right here. There's water in it. Of course, I use to replenish. Once the water is replenished in the water, what's the purpose to throw it away? And that's how we are. We as women, mothers, professionals, whatever, we're constantly pouring, constantly pouring, constantly pouring. But we're very seldomly giving back to ourselves, replenishing that cup through self-care. Now, self-care is also, it includes, but it's not a part of just limited to, excuse me, getting your nails done, getting your hair done. Yes, that's
Mm-hmm.
self-care. Self-care for me is I have to get in meditation. I'm journaling, maybe
Yeah.
listening to ocean waves to go to sleep, talking to someone. Hey, let me go check in with my therapist or check in with my mentor what I'm going through. Where is my mental health at in terms of self-care? Self-care is go down to the beach, walk on the sand. Taking care
Mm-hmm.
of yourself is very, very important to me. Like this, like I can tell when I need self-care. When I start getting
Yes.
ornery and getting cranky, it's like, okay, you're giving out too much to everybody else. It's time for you to take care of you. And your body will let you know. Well, lets me know, since this is directed to me, when I need to, okay, I've done too much. It's time for me to take a step back.
Do you have any upcoming events that you would like for us to know about? Because I know something coming up, but I want you to tell the people.
You know, Coach Vaughn got something coming up.
Okay,
Absolutely. Yes, I am so excited. I am having my second annual Hope
come
Begins With
on.
Me Mental Health and Wellness Conference. Yes, I kicked it off last year. Yes, 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 yes.
Yes.
And I'm so excited about this year. So excited. My team and I were in the background where we're working on a lot of stuff. I've already sent out the save the date. It's going to be May the 18th. The venue is a
Okay.
TVA. Still working on that. I'm going to be going to see some venues this week. So we hope to get contracts signed this week. It will be on Eventbrite. We're going to be offering an early bird special. As a matter of fact, I'm so excited about this. This year's theme is I am more than enough.
See,
Last
come
year,
on
the
now.
guy kept coming to me in the beginning of last year in January because that
Mm-hmm.
was just my whole year. Last year was just my whole year of focusing on transitioning and leveling up. So when I prayed, when it came to me last year in January, I prayed in December because I took that whole month of journaling, just reflecting on 2023. I said, now, Lord, are you
Right.
sure you want me to still use this as a theme? I'm more than enough. And it came back to me again. And I wrote down in my journal,
Mm-hmm.
I am more than enough. Because in 2023, a lot of people suffered
Yes.
silently as well as publicly, not just adults, but our youth. I am going to have a segment in there that is specifically dedicated to our young people. I have a person that's going to speak on their own, a young person that's going to speak on their own mental health journey, what they had to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. They have a very powerful testimony, and they will be speaking to that. Matter of fact, Tanisha Michelle, Coach Tanisha,
Yeah, my
she's
girl.
coming
Yes.
back. She's your girl. She was the MC last year, but I want to bring her back this year as one of my youth facilitators, where she can talk to
Mm-hmm.
them about emotional regulation and really flow in that element. I've got another
Okay.
a speaker that's going to be talking to the youth about the disparities in school and how, even though you may have mental health issues, how you can still be successful in school. I've got a mentor coming to talk to the youth about this. And I've got a couple more little things. It's going to be kind of like along the line of a panel. I really want to
Mm-hmm.
pour into our youth to let them know that there's
Yes.
resources available and that their mental health is important, creating that safe space for them. Now, for the
Mm-hmm.
adults, I've got a segment there where individual who's gone through trauma, who've gone through some adverse events, they're going to have an
Yes.
opportunity to talk about their mental health, what they were, knowing that they were more than enough, that they had the tenacity and the resiliency in them. As a matter of fact, your mom, which is I'm so excited, and she so humbly and graciously agreed, she's going to be one of my speakers in that. So I know
I
you're going to come
know.
out and support your mom. I
Yes,
cannot
ma'am, I
wait for her
am.
to tell her story. I'm not going to tell her story. I'm going to let her share
Yeah,
her
she gonna
story
tell a story.
but she's going to tell her story. And she has a very powerful story of her resiliency and being overcome and knowing that she's more than enough. And then there's some other speakers that are going to be talking about self-love, emotional
Mm-hmm.
regulation, being able to know how to have that work-life balance as it relates to self-reflection.
Yes.
I even have, for the first time, I have a male speaker that's going to come and give some issues to men how to have. Yes, I'm telling you, when I tell you I am more than enough, it's going to be I'm more than enough. It's going to be I'm more than enough. So yeah, I'm really, really excited. I'm excited for this year's conference. Like I said, it's going to be on Eventbrite. We hope once we get everything finalized, hope to have contracts signed this week coming, so we can go ahead and start promoting it. And well, I'm already doing that now, and just getting it out there. Yeah, trying to get some media coverage on it this year, because in May's Mental Health Awareness Month, really want to bring awareness to the importance to mental health, well-being, and know when it's time to go seek help. And it's needed, especially for African Americans.
You're right. And speaking of promotion, give us your information on how people can find you on social media.
How you can find me on social media is, of course, my business page is Creative Life Journeys, is how it's spelled, LLC. I am also on IG, Coach Vaughn 2020, Coach Vaughn 2020 _ So you can find me there. I'm also on LinkedIn, Evonne L, MA. And of course, my Facebook page. I'm also my link tree. I don't have that. My assistant is still working on that, and we're getting ready to do a new web page. So you can follow me on that. Yeah. Also, I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I'm gonna do. I also got some new merch that's getting ready to be dropping pretty soon too.
Ooh. All right, now see, people need to catch up with you. Yes, ma'am.
You gotta
That's
catch
amazing.
up with me. I'm telling you, go to sleep if you want to, but and I can't. Period. I got the new merch that's gonna be coming out. We're gonna start doing pre-orders next week. Well, this week coming. So once we get everything together, we got some really good stuff coming that's going to empower women, that's going to bring awareness to mental health and well-being, finding your clarity and purpose, if not to start a business, but just to know who you are and not who people say you should be. And that also plays a role in people with mental health issues. Because you're trying to live up to somebody else's expectation for you instead of being your true self. Creates anxiety and depression.
I don't know if Black History Month, because it is February. Tell us, what does Black History mean to you?
What Black History means to me is about overcoming, being able to embrace endurance, resiliency. I love Madam C.J. Walker. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I watched her movie, watched her story, because it resonated with me. Seeing a woman who gone through some challenges. She went through some challenges, but she overcame. She went through, she endured, and she just kept putting herself out there, and she became the first Black self-made millionaire. Oprah Winfrey is another one. From a child, I loved Oprah Winfrey. I loved Oprah, her story. I really identify with women who've gone through and have gone through challenges and have overcome. So that's what Black History means to me. Setting a whole month aside, even though it's the shortest month on the calendar, but we're giving that. Yeah, exactly. We still can recognize and honor the pioneers, the ancestors who did the groundwork for us to be where we're at today. I just wish some of those ancestors who were before us, our predecessors, they could have gotten the mental health treatment that they needed, because they endured some trauma. They endured some things. They endured some stuff we could never, ever in our lifetime endure. And that's what Black History Month means to me. The ability to overcome, resiliency, and change the trajectory of not just your life, but the next generation that comes life.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for coming on Never Gave Denied podcast. And once again, let everybody know where they could purchase your book, because like I said, I have it. So let everybody know where they can purchase your book.
Again, you can get it on Amazon. You can get the book on Amazon, but it doesn't come signed. If you want all the little goodies that come with it, reach out to me. You can inbox me. You can email me. Creative Life Journeys of course, it's spelled CRATIVELIFJOURNIES @gmail.com. And the subject line just say book. I want the whole packet, and I'll get that to you. And I usually pretty good with a turnaround time. So yeah. We will get that all
That's
out to you. Get it all shipped to you. I have books in prisons. I've got books as far as Minnesota to the Midwest.
Come on now, it's giving national, you know? Yes, I want to thank you so much, Evonne, for coming on my show and giving a good information to us because we needed it. Tune in to next week's episode to talk to Michelle James, owner of Michelle's Mobile Massage. Once again, I want to congratulate our beautiful Broken Crayon company for sponsoring today's show. And remember this, y'all. Yes, life was delayed, but it never gave denied. I am your host, Annika Laquette, and you're listening to Never Gave Denied. Make sure you come back next week for more episodes. Bye.